We've seen lyrical wars, physical altercations, and social media meltdowns. But when 50 Cent decides to enter the chat, you know things are about to get personal, deadly personal. Right now, the internet is absolutely losing its mind over a bombshell claim that could tear one of rap's most famous families apart. The headline is screaming everywhere. 50 Cent exposes a DNA test report claiming King Harris is not T's biological son. Now, let that sink in for a second. We all know 50 Cent is the undisputed king of petty. He's a master of trolling, and he never forgets a grudge. But has he finally gone too far this time? Is this just another one of 50's calculated moves to humiliate his longtime rival T? Or is there a dark hidden truth buried in those documents? The tension between T and 50 Cent has been simmering for years. But it boiled over when 50 took a direct shot at T's son, King Harris. King, known for his wild personality and constant headlines, fired back at 50. And that was his biggest mistake, because 50 Cent doesn't just bark, he bites. He allegedly dropped a DNA report that suggests King's biology doesn't match the King of the South. Fans are divided. Some say the resemblance isn't there, while others are calling out 50 for being a demon and attacking a young man's identity. The Harris family is under siege. The blogs are on fire, and the evidence, real or fake, is circulating like wildfire. In today's deep dive, we are breaking down every single detail. We're looking at the origins of this beef, the shocking evidence 50 Cent posted, and the explosive fallout that followed. Is this the end of the Harris legacy, or is 50 about to get hit with the biggest defamation lawsuit in hip-hop history? Buckle up, because this isn't just a rap feud anymore. It's a family war in the history of hip-hop. Beef is a cornerstone of the culture. We've seen lyrical wars, coastal rivalries, and careers ended with a single verse. But when we talk about Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, the rules of engagement change entirely. 50 Cent isn't the kind of artist who just responds with a song. He's a psychological warrior who enters his opponent's personal life and strikes where it hurts the most. This time his crosshairs are locked on none other than the King of the South himself, T. Clifford Harris. But the question everyone is asking is, where did this fire start? The friction between T and 50 Cent hasn't just appeared out of thin air. It has been simmering for over a decade. Whether it was debates about who has the better catalog for a versus battle, or T claiming that 50 wasn't on his level as a lyricist, there has always been a cold war between New York and Atlanta's finest. 50 Cent usually laughed these challenges off, but behind that famous smirk, he was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That moment arrived when T's son, King Harris, began making headlines for all the wrong reasons. King Harris has always been a lightning rod for controversy. From getting into altercations at Waffle House, to disrespecting his own parents during heated Instagram live sessions, King has struggled to find his footing as an artist outside of his father's massive shadow. The turning point came when King Harris, feeling bold, took a direct jab at 50 Cent during a rant, even mentioning 50's late mother in a way that crossed every unwritten rule of the streets. 50 Cent has a very simple philosophy: if you touch my family, I will dismantle yours. He didn't respond with a diss track. Instead, he reached for a digital nuclear weapon. 50 Cent took to Instagram and posted a document that looked like an official medical report from a DNA testing clinic. The image showed specific genetic markers, and at the bottom, in bold, chilling letters, it read, "Non-matching paternity not established." 50 Cent's caption was the ultimate provocation. Tip: you're out here defending this kid like he's your twin, but have you checked the paperwork lately? This report says he's not yours. Who's the real father? Man, the moment that post went live, the internet fractured. It wasn't just a gossip story anymore. It was a character assassination. People began questioning if 50 Cent actually had access to the Harris family's private medical records, or if this was in Photoshop manipulation. 50 Cent, however, is known for having folders on everyone in the industry. He began pointing out the timeline of King's birth, reminding the public of the brief period when T and his wife Tiny Harris were going through a rough patch in their marriage. He connected these old rumors to the new DNA report so convincingly that even the most loyal T fans started to second-guess the reality. Suddenly, social media became a laboratory for amateur detectives. People started side-by-side comparisons of King Harris and T, analyzing facial structures and skin tones. Trolls flooded the comments calling King the mailman's son, or the industry's biggest lie. This wasn't just about music anymore. It was about the sanctity of a man's home and his legacy. For T, a man who prides himself on being a family leader and a mentor to his children, this was the ultimate insult. His pride was being dragged through the digital mud. But 50 Cent didn't stop at one post. He doubled down, claiming he received the report from a disgruntled former associate of the Harris family. He suggested that people within the Atlanta circle had known the truth for years, but were too afraid of T's influence to speak up. 50's narrative was simple. T was raising another man's son while that son was out here disrespecting legends. He even gave King a new nickname, the Prince of Identity Crisis. While the internet laughed and memed, the silence from the Harris household was deafening. Usually, King Harris is the first person to go live and scream at the camera, but for a moment, he went quiet. Reports surfaced from close associates that the young rapper was deeply shaken. Imagine being a teenager trying to build your own brand based on your father's legendary name, only to have the entire world tell you that your father isn't actually your father. It was a psychological blow that few could recover from. However, skepticism remained. Technical experts began looking at the metadata of the photo 50 posted. Some argued the font was inconsistent with modern lab reports, while others pointed out that the document looked like it had been aged on purpose, only fueled the fire. Was this a genuine leak of a secret T had been hiding since the early 2000s? Or was 50 Cent committing the ultimate act of fraud just to win a petty argument? The hip-hop community split into two camps, Team 50 and Team T. Those on 50's side argued that the Gunnet boss rarely misses when he exposes someone. Those on T.I.'s side called it a disgusting LeBlau move that involved an innocent child in a grown man's beef. T remained uncharacteristically silent for the first 24 hours, leading many to believe he was consulting with lawyers or worse, that he was at home wondering if the rumors were true. 50 Cent took advantage of this silence, tagging T repeatedly and calling him a coward for not addressing the truth. The damage was done. 50 Cent had successfully planted a seed of doubt in the minds of millions. He had attacked King Harris's identity, T.I.'s manhood, and Tiny's reputation as a wife. The foundation of the Harris family was shaking, and the rap world was perched on the edge of its seat, waiting for the retaliation. In the next part, we will see how T finally broke his silence and the explosive video response that sent 50 Cent into a trolling frenzy. We'll also look at the moment King Harris decided to fight back, not with words, but with a challenge that changed the direction of this beef forever. The silence from the Harris camp didn't last long, but when it broke, it wasn't the calm, calculated response people expected from a veteran like T. Instead, the tension reached a boiling point that threatened to spill over into the streets. 50 Cent had successfully baited the King of the South, and the world watched as the trap snapped shut. 50 Cent continued his relentless onslaught, posting old clips of T and Tiny from their reality show, The Family Hustle, pointing out moments where T looked suspicious of his own children. He was weaving a narrative that suggested T had known the truth all along, but was too embarrassed to admit it to the public. Then came the first real retaliation. King Harris, unable to stay quiet any longer while his entire identity was being mocked by millions, went on a legendary Instagram live rant. But instead of clearing the air with facts, King went for 50 Cent's throat. He insulted 50's relationship with his own estranged son, Maris Jackson, saying, "You're worried about who my father is, but your own son hates your guts. You're a billionaire who can't even buy a relationship with your own blood." It was a low blow. And in the world of 50 Cent, a low blow is an invitation for total war. 50 Cent responded within minutes. He didn't get angry. He got even pet. He posted a zoomed-in shot of the DNA reports date and a photo of a man who supposedly looked like a younger, more accurate version of King Harris. He claimed this man was a friend of the family from back in the day in Atlanta. This was the moment the internet truly exploded. The memes shifted from lighthearted jokes to serious investigations. The search for the real father became a viral challenge with people digging through Tiny Harris's past associates, from the 9S